I will say happy Wednesday to everybody. What's going on? Christian Ballard, Ballard Sports Media. We've been waiting for a week on this one. I really wanted to get it out. And I put a tweet out. It's funny. I put a tweet out and I didn't see any responses. There might have been a retweet. Maybe someone did retweet it. I don't know. But today we want to talk about things that need to be limited in college football. Go ahead and turn the camera on there. And yeah, we want to discuss this because there I have feelings of things that I would limit if I was in charge of college football. I commented on Mark's morning show this morning. Mark Rogers, of course, the voice of college football. I'll have to go back and remember what he said. He brought up NIL and transfer portal, and he said that was basically it that he would try to regulate and just bring to the front uh this kind of structured system. I can't say that right, but you get what I'm saying, that there should be some regulations in place. I have uh I kinda did some research here. I came up with 3 things I would limit that I think need to be limited in college football. Um, and then, the last one I'm gonna mention the 3, and we'll talk about them. I noticed we have at least 1 person watching right now. We got a few people now, looks like 3. That's good. I'll drop the StreamYard link in case anyone wants to come on. I don't see anybody in the comments section yet. I understand. I think our friend Nate the Great is live right now, and that's okay. I've had this scheduled for a week. Uh, People should have seen it by now, I guess, and I don't know. But you know, uh, what needs to be limited in college football? What do we have to do to fix college football? First off, is college football broken right now? I love college football as much as anybody else does in this community. And anyone on YouTube and all these sports journalists that you might follow on 247 Sports and Josh Pate and Paul Feinbaum. But let's be honest, it's not perfect. And it's never going to be. It's never been perfect. It's never going to be perfect. There are going to be changes in college football, whether you like it or not. And you're just going to have to put up with it. You're going to have to deal with that. You just have to. We went from bowl games being championships to the BCS to now a 4-team playoff. This is the final year of that, or this past year was. So now this year, we're going to have 12 teams that could win a championship. That's a big deal. Is this good change? It depends on how you look at it. And honestly, let's just call it what it is, folks. You won't know if these changes that are happening now are good. It might look bad at the moment. It could be good down the road. We won't know for another 10, 15 years. We really won't know because it 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 starts out with chaos to begin with, and then it just kind of unfolds. And like a lot of people said no to the 14 playoff when it happened in 2014. Oh no, this is messing with tradition. We need the BCS. We need to once something's gone, you're always going to miss it. But then something new comes along and you're going to find the positives in it. That's what I've done. That's what I've learned. I wasn't in favor of the 14 playoff years ago. I loved the BCS system. Take the 2 best teams and put them on the field. Why not? Then the 4 team came along, I'm like, "Dang it." And it came about, and here we are. I have not seen the only issue I have with the 12 the 4 team playoff, let's get this straight. The only issue I have seen is that most of the games have been blowouts. You've had a couple close games, you've had some overtimes or whatever, some game winners, some last minute stops. You've had that less than half of the games. Outside of that, has there been much controversy with the 4 team playoff? I mean, you can make a case as to last year. Alabama gets in over Florida State. Well, Florida State got blown out by Georgia. They were on their 3rd string quarterback. Who knows what Michigan would have done to them? Just giving examples. Maybe it wouldn't have been as bad. Maybe it would have been better. Maybe worse. I don't know. There's a lot of unknowns within all of these changes in college football. Wow. Let me check the comments. Let me take a breather and check the comments here. We got Goose in here so far. What's up, buddy? Good to see you. He says playoff games have been better the last 2 years. I agree. I agree with that. I think the best year we had, though, was that 2017 Rose Bowl. Even that Alabama Clemson game, it looks bad on paper because it was like, what, 21-6 or 24-6. It was low scoring. But when you look at how the teams matched up, like, I think Alabama had got a pick six late to, like, really seal the game. But for a while in that game, I mean, Clemson tried to keep it close and competitive. So I uh I look at all this and I there's good and bad changes in college football. There are. I'm gonna bring up some things that need to be limited in college football, and I want to hear from you guys. Again, I did drop the StreamYard link. If you want to join, feel free to. Everyone's welcome on here. I'm gonna question the last one. Um, and the so I came up with 3 things that I think should be limited in college football. The last one I kinda question. It was interesting. I think did I send it? Did I post it on Facebook? I sent it somewhere. Maybe I sent it to Mayhem Matthew for, like, an idea for our show. But it's amazing. There's a kicker out there. What's his name? Let me see. Oh, he plays for the Cavaliers, Virginia Cavaliers. We'll get to him in a second. If you know him, like, you can talk about it in the comments if you want to. But the things that I say need to be limited in college football, I'm gonna start with how many times a player can transfer. I think 1 transfer is enough for a player. If I I think because here's what happens. Like, I'll perfect example of this. DJ Uyunglele, or we might joke and some people might say the ukulele, like Uncle Lou does or whatever. He starts at Clemson, literally starts at Clemson. Like, he's the starting quarterback. He gets benched, not doing too well. Cade Klubnik comes in to play. And things get better for Clemson. Cade Klubnik takes over. Okay. He transfers to Oregon State. NIL probably played into this. I don't remember. I never found out the reason behind him leaving Oregon State. Maybe it's because Jonathan Smith went to Michigan State and now there's a new coach and maybe some leadership. I don't know. But now he's at Florida State. He's at Florida State. Use him as an example. He only transferred twice. Remind me if I'm wrong, or correct me if I'm wrong and remind me. I don't think there's a limit on how many times a player can transfer. I think it's fair game, and we don't have regulation for the transfer portal. We really don't. I mean, you have deadlines as to when the portal opens up and when it closes. That's it. That's all you have. it opens up. There's 10 hundred or however many players enter the portal all at once. 500 players. Maybe I'm over exaggerating that number, but there's a lot of players when it opens up. As soon as it opens up, you go to 247 and you'll see hundreds of players in the portal already. And you'll see that for a week. But you notice not a majority, but there is a minority that like the small amount. It's not most of them. It's some of them, but there is the few that you say, weren't they already in the portal? So I don't know. I bring that one up. I think there should be a limit on how many times a player can transfer. I think one time's enough. You made a decision to go play ball somewhere. I get when you're coming out of high school, you're excited and you commit. Then you sign a deal, right? Or I know we don't have contracts for playing yet in college football, but I would not be surprised if that comes about. But on your signing day, you come into agreement to go play for Kirby Smart or Dabo Swinney or Kalen DeBoer at Alabama now. That's fine. Then you get there and you're like, "Well, I don't like the leadership," or, "Man, I didn't get the starting job like I thought I was going to. Oh, there's this portal over here. Maybe I'll go enter it. I'm gonna transfer." So then you make a big decision. You're gonna transfer out. What's next? You don't start there? Well, you chose to go there. I think players, and I'm not trying to be mean or throw them under the bus, but shouldn't they be able to, like, look at the roster, figure out the scenario, put in the effort to say, "This is a great school." Well, you go to a school because you wanna play football. You go to a school where you want to start, right? Come on. That's how it works. So, the first thing, how many times a player can transfer, I think one transfer is enough. If it happens to be twice, like, there better be a legit excuse, like, you know, I wanna be careful with saying this, but, like, allegations or something, like, within the program, and you just have to get away. I don't know. But, like, transferring twice because especially when you have, like, multiple years of eligibility. Guys are transferring today, they get, like, 3 years of eligibility, which leads me into how many years of eligibility should we be limited to in college football? I mentioned Matt Gaynor is a Virginia kicker, he's 34 years old. 34! He's a middle-aged man, and he's kicking a football for Virginia. Now, I'm not mad about that. It is interesting, his story. He was a former helicopter pilot in the Marines. Thank you for your service. Thank you. But here's the thing, he didn't play high school ball. He actually got cut 16 years ago from walk-on tryouts from Virginia, but Tony Elliott has given him another chance. I like this story for him. I love it. Thank you for your service in the Marine Corps. That is incredible. It's a really great story. I'm not trying to use negativity in any way, but I do have questions. Like 34 years old, you're a college athlete. You should be like at 34, you would think you're like a 10-year NFL veteran or something at that point, right? I'm just saying. Thank you for your service in the Marines, Matt Gainyard. He's a kicker at Virginia. But I gotta hear from you guys. We got a few people watching on YouTube. We got a couple people, at least one on Facebook, it looks like. But what needs to be limited? Whether you wanna call in on StreamYard, I'll drop the link again, or if you want to just leave it in the comments section, that is fine too. I'll be happy to read your comments. What's up, Goose? He says, "LSU had a player they just signed in 2024, that's this year, and he's in the portal." Yeah! That's another thing. That's a good one. You commit and you sign. And I think you should at least wait until you've your team's played a game. At least. Like, wait till September or October to transfer. Or let that be a rule. I don't know. But there's so much stuff I could go on about. I don't have enough in my notes. But man, that I was hoping like what do you guys think? If you're watching this back, thank you. If you're watching this live with us, which we got a few people that are, what should be limited in college football? What should we do? What like I think the biggest thing that makes me mad, or I don't know if I want to say mad, it I think there should be regulations and people in charge of NIL. Now, we haven't seen too much of that stuff with like this past off season or the off season we're in. We saw a lot of it last year. I've seen where guys they transfer because of NIL, and I don't think that it is good to use NIL to an advantage in gaining players. That's just me, though. That's just me. Um, so anyway, so yeah. So there was Matt Gaynor. There was another one. Maybe I think I sent it to Mayhem Matthew, who does the touchdown show with me. Let me go double check. There was another guy that's like 28 years old playing college football, and he was like in the Major League Baseball. What was his name? Let me see here. Let me go find this. Uh, I'll probably never find it, honestly. I don't. Maybe I think I was just talking to him about it on. Let me see. MLB player back to college. Let me see this. Who what? Oh, here it is. It was put out a week ago. This is from Bleacher Report. Monte Harrison. I remember what it was now. Okay, so this guy went to Arkansas. Okay, so what this is he's 28 years old. This is from Doric Sam on Bleacher Report. If it'll let me read this, I hope so. I hope it's not a premium article. Former MLB player Monte Harrison commits to Arkansas college football as a 28-year-old wide receiver. The biggest headline of this story though is he's granted 4 years of eligibility. So by the time he's done, he's gonna be like 32, 33 years old. This is insane. This is cool though. Interesting. So he was rated a four-star prospect and the number 7 player in the state of Missouri in the class of 2014. Yeah, that's 10 years ago. 10 years ago, he was in 247's rankings, right? Mm. So his senior season, I guess, of high school, let me see, 60 catches for 1,007 yards, 13 touchdowns, added 198 rushing yards and 12 rushing touchdowns plus a passing touchdown during his senior season. Harrison, this is Monte Harrison, had originally committed to Nebraska over offers from schools such as Iowa, Kentucky, Michigan State, Missouri, Kansas, and Arkansas. However, he was drafted by the Milwaukee Brewers with a second round pick that same year and chose to pursue a baseball career. So it's not even that he's like, I don't think it's going back to college. It's just going to college. Like people in their 30s go to college and stuff later down the road in life. Um, so this guy got picked up on an MLB contract. He was in the minor leagues for 6 years before finally making it to the majors in 2020 with the Miami Marlins. 32 games that season, he hit 170 with 1 home run and 3 RBIs. He appeared in 9 games the following year and was sent back down to the AAA. Okay. And it goes on. I mean, this guy's been around in baseball, which is great. Uh, Harrison is joining an Arkansas team that went 4-8 in 2023 and finished last in the SEC West. What's up, Gamecock Chuck? How you doing, bro? Had a 39-year-old walk-on receiver in the early 2000s. He was a 20-year Army veteran with 6 kids. Interesting. See, like that that's what I'm talking about. You have guys going back to school, and like I said, I've seen guys go back to school. I've been in class at Wallace with guys in, like, their 30s or something like that. So guys are gonna go back to school. But age ain't nothing but a number. I'm not against any of this. Let me make that clear. I'm not against any of this. I think it's interesting. I might sound like maybe I'm coming off with negative connotation a little bit, but I know that I'm not trying to. I think this is really cool. I think it's interesting, but I want to hear from you guys. What should be limited in college football? Should college athletics put limits on age when it comes to playing football, baseball, whatever it might be? When you go to school, should the NCAA put some limits and regulations on stuff like age? I don't know about age, but again, there's other things out there like NIL, like we discussed earlier, that it's it's gotta be regulated. It probably won't be ever, but I think it should be. I think it should be. Let me see. What else did this article say? Let me see. So you have a 28-year-old wide receiver with 4 he's got 4 years of eligibility. I mean, he's basically starting out as a freshman. 28 years old. Plus, I mentioned a 32-year-old kicker in college. I mean, guys retire at that age in the NFL, don't they? Or 35 or something down the road. That's almost retirement age in the NFL. It's crazy, man. I love it though. I love a good story like this. I love a good story. Let's see. We have not been live in over a week, I guess. Yeah, I gotta get back to this. I'm trying to. We got a we got an interview tomorrow night for our touchdown show, me and Mayhem. Carter Daniels is a 2025 linebacker, and I forget where he is. I'll have to look it back up. Should I ask Carter Daniels tomorrow about how long he plans to be in college, considering this conversation we're having today? Crazy. Mm. Anyway, hope to get back to doing some more live streams for you guys here at Ballard Sports Media. It's crazy with my work schedule. I'm trying to figure out a YouTube schedule outside of work. Then I got stuff like church 2 to 3 times a week. That's a priority. I'm done with school for the summer. I'll pick back up in the fall with some classes. I'll probably transfer to UAB in the spring. We'll see. But I don't know. I'm not like here's the thing. I need a 2 point. No, my mom was telling me last week when I saw her, you need a 2.0. I kept thinking I needed a 2.5 GPA. I'm at a 2.4, but for I think it's 2.5 for incoming freshmen. I'm a transfer. I've entered the portal. I think it's different for transfer students at UAB, but yeah. So yeah, no Ballard Blitz today, by the way. I figured we do his live stream instead. We'll pick that back up next week. We'll have to figure out some stuff to talk about. If you ever want to be a guest on that, by the way, let me know. It'd be amazing. Would love to get some guests on that one. Love to get some live streams going back up. It'd be awesome. Let me see here. I need my charger. Phone charger, that is, right quick. So all right, 30 minutes into the show. Still got some people watching. Be sure to comment, leave your questions. Would love to get you guys on too on StreamYard. I can drop the link one more time. We'll give it a few more minutes. I run through stuff pretty fast. I really said everything I wanted to say. I mean, I could like go through it again, but I don't know what the point would be. I just college football has changed so much in my lifetime, and it's going to continue to change. We knew like I think it's inevitable the direction that we're going of paying players because they wanna play football. I I could see that in 5 years. And by the way, I don't blame Nick for retiring. I don't blame Saban for jumping ship and going ahead and retiring. He didn't retire he said this past year took a lot out of him. I think that he, uh, I feel like he retired because of all the changes. He has a saying about, like, old people and like, "Oh, they don't do this or that because they don't make them like they used to." Well, they don't make college football like they used to, Nick. That's why you left Alabama and retired. They brought in Kalen DeBoer, who's a younger guy that probably knows what he's doing with NIL and everything. I'm not trying to throw Saban under the bus, by the way. This is not a diss or I'm not saying that like I mean, I feel like this is Ballard talking, right? I feel like Saban knew what he was doing, but he didn't know what he was doing. It's like he knows what's coming. He knows the direction that football is going in, but it was overwhelming and too much. And maybe that's why he retired. I mean, he even said to Reese Davis in an interview after, like right when he retired in January, he said, "This last season took a lot out of me." That's what he said. It took a lot out of him. The close games. He said it was one of his favorite teams though because they overachieved and proved a lot of people wrong getting to the playoffs. But it took a lot out of him as a head coach, like his motivate. I don't remember what game it was, but like there were so many mistakes early on for Alabama last year. But finally, in a game at like Texas A&M or something, the camera points to Nick and he's on the sidelines, and it's like there's the Saban we once knew. Where was that fire all season long? I mean, even in 2022 with 2 losses, like, it seemed as if he was losing his fire a little bit, but last year really took a whole 'nother turn and everything like that. So Mm. Alright. So I've run through everything, we still got a couple people watching. I've given it a few minutes to let you guys try to click the stream hour link. It looks like no one's gonna join. Thought it was a good show, good discussion. Had some good feedback in the comments from Chuck and Goose. So love you guys. Appreciate you. Thanks for always showing up. We'll keep it rolling here at Ballard Sports Media. I'll have to figure out my schedule. We'll schedule some live streams, get it taken care of. We'll get the watch hours and everything back up. But, you know, it is what it is. I love you guys. Hope everyone has a great Wednesday, great rest of your week. Hopefully, we find some time this weekend to talk. If we don't, great. If we do, great. I'm fine either way. Love you guys. Have a great day. God bless. Jesus loves you. I love you. And from an Alabama fan, roll tide. Ballard Sports Media. Check it out. I love y'all. Peace.